Otaku, and it is time for my monthly wrap up for January. So January actually had a great reading month. I started the year out strong and I finished like 20 something books. So I am very excited. It was a mix of digital, mix of physical, mix of manga, mix of real books, or prose books, however we want to classify them. So very excited about that. So first, of course, we always got to tackle the digital reads. So the first thing that I read digitally was Shades and Shadow. And Shades and Shadow is basically a short story companion to N.K. Jemison's The Inheritance trilogy. It was extremely short, only about 44 pages, and it just gives us a couple of short stories about some of the characters that we met throughout the Inheritance trilogy. So another one, and I've got my book here to tell me all the stuff that I read. Another one that I read digitally was Nnedi Okorafor's Remote Control. Remote Control is a sci-fi. It is very reminiscent of Benti, and if you have seen my videos before, and I'll link it up here, I read Benti in a 24-hour stint. It is 3 novellas, and Remote Control is another sci-fi novella. It is it's a very interesting, the ending was a little different for me. I was not a huge fan of the ending. It was kind of abrupt in my opinion. But if you like Nnedi Okorafor, if you like Benti, I think that you will actually like Remote Control for the most part. I just wasn't sure what I was getting into. And so check it out if you are interested in Benti. If you were interested in Nnedi Okorafor's other works, you may like it. It was middle of the road for me because of the ending. So I also read Orient Volume 1. So I received an ARC copy of Orient Volume 1, and Orient is by the same mangaka that did Magi. And so the artwork is very similar. I am so excited. I enjoyed this first volume. We have got our world where demons have come in, and there are stories about the samurai and how the samurai used to kill and take down the demons so that they could protect humankind. But now we've kind of fast forwarded to the future, and samurais are outlawed, and they basically have to wear their swords like chained to themselves to denote that they are from a samurai family, and they are not proper people in society now. And so you have your people who are training to be helpful to the demons. And so our main character is one of those ones who's training to be helpful for the demons, but he's always wanted to be a samurai. And so it's very interesting. I'm excited to see how it continues. I really enjoyed Volume 1, and I will definitely be on the lookout for more volumes. And I mean, Magi is one of the series that I just absolutely love. And so I've not been disappointed by Volume 1. I am interested to see where it goes. Because it is of the same kind of age range, is more kind of younger, but I am interested to see how it goes and how it all plays out. So after Orient, I read The Duke and I. So The Bridgertons is like super popular right now because of the Netflix show. And I watched the first episode and immediately wanted to read the book once I figured out that it was books, because enemies to lovers is one of my favorite tropes. I did not particularly like the book overall. So the beginning of the book was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. About 60% in, 65% in, there's an incident that happens and it just doesn't sit well with me. And the rest of the book, they do not tackle it. They do not address it. They sweep it under the rug. I feel like it strips Simon of his agency. I felt like Daphne was extremely manipulative. There was just a lot of things that I did not like and did not enjoy, and I DNF'd the book probably 3 times, and then I just finally forced myself to finish the actual novel. On the Kindle version, it has a second epilogue that was published much later. I did not finish that. I could not force myself to read that. I refused to ever go back and read it. So technically I DNF'd the book, but I finished the novel part. And I only did that so I would not mess up my Goodreads pages. I'm going to continue and read some of the other Bridgerton novels because I hear that this type of thing does not happen in the rest of them. And so because of that, and because I really did enjoy her writing and her characters and all of that before that, in the first half of the book, I will continue. So I've already picked up number 2, and so I will continue reading that. after the Duke and I picked up Void. So Void is a standalone by Rimuru Zaria, who's becoming one of my favorite mangaka. So she wrote, let's see, Liquor and Cigarettes. She wrote Coyote, and then we've got Void. And so with Void, I now own and Birds of Shangri-La, yes. So with Void and with what I picked up, which I also read this month, so you'll see later in the video, with all of those volumes, I now have all of her English published works, and I love her. I love them. I love everything about it. Void was interesting. You've got a tale of loss and coming to terms with like the anger after losing someone, especially losing someone who betrays you. So it was very interesting to see how that all came together, especially since it was a one-shot. So I really enjoyed Void a lot, and I'm very glad that I now own her entire English published collection. And I need Birds of Shangri-La 2, and I need Coyote 4, and I need them now. So next, digitally, I read Practice Makes Perfect, Volume 1, Practice Makes Perfect, Volume 2, Practice Makes Perfect, Volume 3, and last but not least, Volume 4. So the Thirsty Thursday crew, which is made up of Mama Loves Manga, Dynamic Dylan, Shay Geeks Out, and Pages and Panel. This month for January, they do a Thirsty Thursday every month, and they read a smutty type manga every month, and then they discuss it. And so for the month of January, they read the Practice Meets Perfect series, all 4 volumes. Practice Meets Perfect is about these 2 Olympic athletes. They are in their late 20s, and they are both virgins. And they have both been dumped in relationships due to their inexperience. And so being athletes, they kind of get together and they're like, you know what? What have we learned our entire life? If you practice something, you'll get better at it, and practice makes perfect, hence the title. And so they decide to practice being intimate with each other, you know, holding hands, kissing, touching, all of the above and then some. And so it does get a little smutty. Not as smutty as I was thinking with the premise. Like with the premise, you would think this could get really smutty. But it was, you know, we give it 3.5 flames out of 5 smut flames. So it got a little smutty. I really enjoyed it. Their dynamic was cute. Both of them being kind of shy and nervous, and then growing more comfortable to each other, to volume 4 being the end. So it's a complete at 4 volumes. So that is everything that I read digitally. So physically, I read, Physically, I read A Touch of Darkness and A Touch of Ruin. So A Touch of Darkness and A Touch of Ruin, these are, A Touch of Darkness comes first in the series, and A Touch of Ruin is the sequel. And this is a Hades and Persephone retelling. I am very excited. I love Hades and Persephone. I really enjoy their story, especially, you know, depending on which version you hear, whether it's the version that she goes willingly or the one that she's kidnapped. We're not as big of a fan of the one where she's kidnapped, but I really enjoy their dynamic, especially since like they are fated to be together. And seeing in A Touch of Darkness, because it's kind of like a enemies to lovers kind of trope, because Persephone just absolutely hates him in the beginning. She thinks that he is tricking mortals into selling their souls. She thinks that he is condemning these mortals and not doing what he can to save them when he has the ability to save them, or she thinks he has the ability to save him. So I enjoy a really well done enemies to lovers. This is well done. It's also smutty, and we know how much I am here for the smutty. So I enjoyed this. I am pre-ordered for the 3rd one, which comes out in May, and I am reading, I forget the title of it because I technically haven't started it yet, but it's A Touch of Darkness from Hades' point of view, so I'm excited to read that. I picked that up as well. So next, the Be Too Weird Book Club read Future Home of the Living God by Louise Erdrich. Louise Erdrich is an Indigenous author, and this is supposed to be a sci-fi. The book club was very not interested in this book. I enjoyed it. I liked it. The rest of them, not so much. If you are a hardcore sci-fi fan, this is not for you. This is not hardcore sci-fi. This is basically someone who has never read sci-fi trying to do sci-fi. That's how it reads to me. She is a great writer. If you like literary fiction, you'll probably like it. It is definitely literary fiction, which is kind of her normal spiel, what she normally writes. And so I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story, but a lot of our book club members did not. I also read Fires of Vengeance by Evan Winter. Fires of Vengeance is the second book in the Burning Quartet. So very excited. As you can see, I had some thoughts and opinions on that one. And if you want to see a lot of those thoughts and opinions, you can click on this video here where I actually did a full video review of this book. So that is all the prose works that I read, which when you take that and The Duke and I and Shades and Shadows, I read a lot of prose work for January. I am very stunned with myself. So as for the manga, which I know you're ready for that, I read Midnight Sun Volume 2. So Midnight Sun Volume 2 is a BL. Midnight Sun Volume 1 was okay. It wasn't bad. And I was like, oh, I'll pick up Volume 2. Volume 2 was a little disappointing. And I think Volume 2 is it. And it didn't really end to me. So I don't know if there's a Volume 3. There may be a Volume 3. I'm not interested in a Volume 3. I liked the artwork. I liked their character dynamic. But this volume seemed very random. It didn't seem like the story continued or that it was a cohesive story. And so I enjoyed it. I don't think I would pick up more. But I did enjoy the art style and I like their character dynamic. I picked up Volume 1 of The Birds of Shangri-La from Ranmaru Zarya. And I am so excited about this one. I thoroughly enjoyed this volume. It is new. It just came out. I pre-ordered it, of course, because it is Ranmaru Zarya, and I love her. So this is, Shangri-La is a male brothel. And we've got our straight male new hire, Apollo, who is started working here for reasons, because he needs the money for personal reasons. Something has happened, and we get some hints as to what happened in the volume. And he is a prepper. And basically what his job is to get the birds, which are our males, ready for their clients. And so it's an interesting dynamic seeing Phi, who is the sex worker that he is prepping, and him, especially with him being a straight male. It's a very interesting dynamic. I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait for Volume 2, which comes out later this year, so I definitely will be picking that up and getting that. Next, still with our favorite of the month, is Coyote Volume 3. So we have been waiting a long time for Coyote Volume 3. I am so excited that it finally came out. It did not disappoint. I cannot wait for more, and I hope we get more sooner than we got with Volume 3. So as I've said, Ranmaru Zarya, I have absolutely loved. I love her art style. I love her storytelling. And Coyote is no different. So Coyote is, we've got our werewolves, we've got our humans, and we've got our werewolf hunting family. And of course, our werewolf falls in love with the heir of our werewolf hunting family. But of course, the heir wants nothing to do with his family. Stereotypical tropes. Still well done. Still amazing. Storyline is chef's kiss. Artwork is chef's kiss. I cannot tell you how much I love her work and how much I love Coyote. Next, I read Awkward Silence Volume 2. So Awkward Silence is also a BL. Our little man here does not know how to show his emotions. And then this is the star of the baseball team who is absolutely, utterly enamored with him and their relationship. It's adorable. It's high school. We're watching them go through their relationships, sit with their various classmates and together as they learn. each other. And so I'm enjoying this one. I have picked up the rest of the series and I cannot wait to read it. I also picked up my pre-order Incurable Case of Love Volume 6, which is Maki Joji, who I've talked about multiple times on this channel because I thoroughly enjoy her work as well. Incurable Case of Love, I enjoyed this volume, but I will say that it's starting to get a little too tropey for me with the miscommunications. We do not have to have a miscommunication that turns into a big issue every volume. We just don't have to have it. Like sometimes I like the couple to be happy. And like now that you've introduced the smut, like sometimes I just want a little smut. I don't need miscommunications. So I'm still enjoying the series. I will be picking up volume 7. We love it. I just wish that hopefully as their relationship continues to mature, that we will tone down some of the tropey aspects of it because they're starting to get a little too much for me. But I highly recommend this series. It is cute. It is adorable. Lots of people like the miscommunication aspect because, you know, you always get the reconciliation after it's done, and that's always like a good feel-good feeling. So some people may really like that aspect of it. I just particularly, especially after reading things like Sweat and Soap, am really here for more mature, healthy relationships. I also picked up my pre-order for Cutie and the Beast Volume 2. So excited. This one's adorable. So we've got our big muscle-bound wrestler here and she's still in high school, but she's 18-year-old. And so he has met her parents because they followed her when she went to go meet him after a wrestling match. And he has proclaimed that he is interested in dating her with the idea of marriage already. And so it's kind of seeing him prove his worth to her father and seeing whether or not they're going to be able to like work out with each other. It's really cute, really adorable. Can't wait for volume 3. This is definitely becoming one of my like big contenders of like, I love it. And it could move its way into some some top 10 type numbers because of how adorable it is. This month, I also read volumes 6, 7, Haley Jane, come here, 8, 9, 10, and 11 of LDK. So I am enjoying LDK. LDK is, I'm a big fan of like forced to live together and it turns into love sort of situations, or forced proximity and it turns into love situations. I like it. I don't like it as much as fake relationship to real relationship. Like that's my jam. But I really enjoy like a forced close proximity that maybe even spins off into a little enemies to lovers situation like this did. So I'm enjoying that we've now gotten to the point where they are living together. Her parents know they are living together. He's kind of proved himself to her family a little bit. The dad kind of trusts him. And we are going into their last year of high school. And we are going into seeing, you know, whether or not they're going to be able to navigate this together in high school. Because, of course, they could get expelled for living together. So it's really interesting to see them go through this new year. They are in class together and she's in a new class, different from her friends. And so seeing her trying to make new friends and seeing her trying to tackle the relationship because he's still in class with some of his friends. So seeing how he interacts with other people that are not her. I'm really enjoying watching this relationship blossom. It's for it to be high school, it's not as toxic as some shoujo can be. So I am enjoying that aspect of it. I have through volume 15, and which apparently volume 15 is not the end. Volume 16 is actually coming out this year. So I'm excited. Apparently this one is coming out really, really, really slow. But I will catch up. And when volume 16 comes out, I will definitely be getting it. And last, but definitely not least, because becoming top 5 favorite, Sweat and Soap, Volume 5. So excited about this. This series, I cannot even begin to describe how much I love this series. And I know I have tried on this channel multiple times, every single time that I read a volume. But their relationship is so healthy. Their relationship is so cute. They just give me all the warm and fuzzies, and I love them so much. I am pre-ordered through volume 9 because all the way through volume 9 comes out in 2021. I think volume 9 comes out in 2021. It may be 2022. Oh no. I found all the way through volume 9. I pre-ordered it. I want them, and I want them to come on pub day so I can read them immediately. Cannot wait to read more. He has now met her family. They are looking at moving in together and trying to find a place. Like, I am just so excited about this couple and so excited about their future. So that is all the books that I read in January. I think it's like 26. It was a lot. We read a lot this month. We started a couple of others, so they'll get finished in February, but I am so excited with what I read. Almost all of it were great selections, and it really, bullet journaling, because I've started bullet journaling this year, really kind of helped me focus that and like putting, what I've read, making sure that I'm keeping up with my demographics of, prose works versus manga. And then it also helps me create these really nice, cute spreads of my week in books. And so every week I list out all of the books that I read for that week. So it's been really nice being able to put together my reading and my bullet journaling, and it kind of helps me keep going in that whole bullet journaling aspect. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. What were you reading in January? What was your top book that you read? Manga, book, prose, poem, random blog on the internet? What was the best thing that you read in the month of January? So make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, the bell, all the standard YouTube things, and I will see you all next time. Bye.